I can't tell which way. I can't tell which way I am. Let's see. Lucky. Welcome to my channel, 12 Bells. How are you? Do I look a little too dark? Do I need to adjust the camera? OMG. I think that's good, right? Right here. Anyway, welcome to my channel, 12 Bells. Hey, Red Wings. So, I don't know if y'all been waiting for me. Let me just get the camera on me. I don't know if y'all been waiting for me to talk about what's been going on in New York, but I just don't remember it being like this when Eric Adams was in office. I just don't. It's kind of crazy to me. Anyway, I had a picture, Eric. What happened to it? I'm talking about him. Yeah. Wait. I like this picture I have of him. Yeah, it came on a time that's good for you, huh, Red Wings? Yeah, it came on a time that's good for you, huh, Red Wings? Yeah, it came on a time. Okay, so you all can see Eric Adams. Okay, when Mayor Eric Adams was in office, um, acting as our mayor for New York City, I don't recall the trouble that we're having right now. And I wanted to highlight some of the things that's been happening as we have a new mayor. We do not have Mayor Eric Adams anymore by Eric Adams. I wanted Eric Adams to be reelected, but the people wanted something different. The people didn't want Eric Adams, he dropped out. The people didn't want Cuomo, and the people didn't want Saliva. They wanted the mayor that we have. And the mayor that we have um, appointed almost all gay women in top positions. And I don't see them doing a good job. Like these gay women, what are they doing? They're gay women. I don't know you. You don't know, but you look at that yourself. And they're not making the cut. They're just not. It's getting crazy, but let me let you decide, right? So we have a right to protest. So we had a protest right in front of Trump Towers on Fifth Avenue because he's the current president of the United States and people hate him. So they're protesting him. Hi, honey. I just wanted to show you that first. Again, this is because of Trump being in office. Let's go.
And there were also protests to mark the president's 1 year back at the White House. Outside Trump Tower here on Fifth Avenue, dozens of people rallied to voice their concerns about the Trump administration. Some upset over the immigration policies, especially what is happening in Minneapolis.
We're the overwhelming majority in this country, and we support the Constitution, we support democracy, and we are very upset about what's going on.
We're out here because Donald Trump is out of control. He's making war on America. He's making war on anybody who doesn't agree with him.
This rally you see here was organized by the group Free America, and in response to the protests, a White House spokesperson said, "Who cares?" And there were
I love it. I love it so much. And I feel like they don't care because there was no black people in that. Like, they don't seem to care about white people protesting in the streets. I think that's so crazy. I see what you said, Red Wings. And I think it does matter because of the way they went about stuff. Like, our leadership, they just wasn't letting these people get away with nonsense. Now, the reason why I showcased that protest first is because they're white people, older white people. They're like senior citizens, and they're upset about things that made it to national news, like the Megan Good, that not Megan Good, but the Good situation is not in New York. That didn't happen here. And they could take themselves on a bus and protest to where it happened. But instead, they're protesting where they want to protest. And they protest like every single week. Like, there's always a protest with that group. And they're just socializing. They're having a great time. They have people in these like green outfits, and they have people like straight hippies playing music. It's a very hippie gathering, okay? And they don't care about them. Just like they didn't care about that white guy that scaled his building. Like, a white guy climbed the building. Remember that story? And they just grabbed him into one of the floors. They took the window off and grabbed him in. I never recall any other protests before he got in office. Like, they're always protesting in New York. They don't even call him the president. They call him the Orange Man or whatever. They're just so disrespectful. And they just don't care about him. And the administration don't care about them either. It's so ridiculous. It's like, white people with white people, they're like, oh, whatever. Just understand, government is about who can organize to push a particular agenda. Maybe I'm too young. Well, Red Wings, you are so right. I do believe that in the I feel that the Democrats are very, very clear on showing that their agenda is not for Americans. Now let's look at this next active gathering. It's outrageous. What's this? How 100 shoppers? Yeah, this one. Then I got the snow for you.
Chaos at a Bronx mall over the weekend after a large crowd of teens took off running and screaming, setting off panic. Alan Devlin spoke to witnesses who described this incident as a stampede.
This wasn't happening.
And also reports on the changes that could come because of it.
The sounds of screaming echoes through the mall at Bay Plaza Rotunda Saturday. Hundreds of shoppers running, many in a panic, unsure of what or where they're running from.
It was kind of shocking to see that there could be so many people in one place doing the exact same thing. I guess that's kind of like group mentality.
Videos like these plastering social media showing several groups of teens Saturday around 5 o'clock breaking out into sprints, circling the mall.
It was kind of like crazy to see that happen, like in a place that's like really local.
I was running to the door and lock it.
Dorca Jimenez was working at Premier Hair and Beauty Salon right across from where it all went down Saturday and describes the ordeal as terrifying.
I was scared. Something happened in the mall. Yeah, I was very scared. So all the customers here was scared too.
And witnesses say it all came to a head right here in the food court where one of the students threw a chair on camera. They then described what happened next as a stampede.
Suddenly, we saw a group of children running through the mall.
Marcia Liberato had a front row seat as well and said while incidents like this one are bad for business, she's happy nothing worse came out of it.
Nothing bad happened. None of them were fighting. They were just basically being children.
This kind of scares tenants. This kind of scares people and consumers.
The mall sits in Councilmember Kevin Riley's district, and he said as recently as Monday morning, he's been in conversations about better securing the plaza, including potential curfews for younger shoppers and additional law enforcement.
We all grew up, we know that the mall is usually a centralized location where young people like to fellowship and network and have a great time together. But you still have to have a tremendous amount of respect when you're coming into the mall.
Eventually, the quote stampede was brought to a close. NYPD seen here in pursuit of one of the groups. 3 people were arrested for disorderly conduct. In Co-op City, Alan Devlin, CBS News, New York.
The mall at Bay Plaza released a statement thanking its security team and the NYPD, saying in part, from our understanding, a group of young people came to the mall based on a false rumor of a social media influencer being at the property.
I was trying to stop that. I'm sorry. So anyway, I love how you see how they're talking about these kids. I'm trying to show you these protests. So the first protest was with a bunch of white seniors, and the Trump administration said, "I don't care. We don't care. We don't care." Right? Because there are a bunch of seniors that are white. Then they showed these Bronx kids, mainly Hispanics, throwing chairs and smashing windows and stuff in the mall. And they said, oh, there was a bunch of kids. They thought that they was going to see somebody famous. Now, let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. It's just more and more ridiculous.
Come on, yo. He's gonna be inside the table. I ain't do nothing. Come on.
As you can see, these kids are being wild, but these are definitely young kids. And I just, what has happened? Why do they think they can do this all of a sudden? Like, what has happened? What is going on here? I don't understand it. I do not understand it. But what I want to highlight is that no one got shot. Everybody has their life. Hallelujah. But I need you to watch this. This is for educational purposes. I did not get prior rights to this. This is not my film, but it is for public consumption and entertainment purposes and educational purposes. And these are news channels, not personal channels. Let's continue. They're crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them. Why are they being crazy? But look at the response. So the police commissioner and the public is outraged. They're outraged about this snowball fight. I'm showing you this. There's stuff going on all over the place. But this particular snowball fight that you just witnessed, the community is up in roar about. Did you notice anything about that particular one? Isn't it a little bit different? A lot of more color was in that, wasn't it? Wasn't it a lot of more color? But this is what the mayor said.
Down here in the snow.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. ACTY. I just want to turn it over to the specialist on the naming. I just want to turn it over to the naming.
First on safety, the president says you speak often, but he doesn't like your policy. How often do you speak? The other question on
Look, I'll start with the first question, then go to the second. I appreciate all of the focus on our emergency snow shoveler program. I want to actually say thank you because part of the result of that is that we had more than 1,400 New Yorkers sign up for the first time to join that program just yesterday alone. And what we've seen is that emergency snow shovelers have been able to supplement the incredible work of the hardworking men and women of DSNY, where these snow shovelers have been able to clear more than 16,000 crosswalks, about 4,166 hydrants, and close to 7,000 bus stops. I'll keep the conversations that I have with the president private. I will tell you, however, that whenever they do happen, they always focus on how to better our city. And then, you know, on the topic of the snowball fight, you know, I think just to first make very clear that when we're talking about our response, we're talking about emergency snow shovelers, we're talking about DSNY. One of the hearts of our city's response also to the first blizzard we've seen since 2016 have been the hardworking men and women of the NYPD. And that's not only in just continuing to keep New Yorkers safe, but also in leading the NYPD tow truck task force, which took more than a dozen ambulances out of being stuck, as well as MTA buses, as well as private vehicles, and were critical to ensure that we could keep this city moving. Now, what I saw yesterday in these videos was a snowball fight that got out of hand. I believe that our officers, just like any city workers, deserve respect. And, you know, once again, I think these are the views that I've shared both kind of in public as well as in any conversations I've had.
All right, Henry. Gotta move on.
Shot officers should not be charged. These kids are charged. To be fair, just like kids, we can make a similar statement and say these kids should not do.
You know, I've said that what I saw was a snowball fight. It should be treated accordingly. It was one that got out of hand, but that's what it was. Thank you.
So people are upset about that. Okay. They're upset that he called it just a snowball fight. Now, everything else has been taken lightly, but this particular event, the community doesn't want it lightly. Listen on to this one.
Ball pelting of New York cops 2 days ago in Washington Square Park. Mayor Mamdani now doubling down on his claim that it was just a snowball fight and no criminal charges should be filed. But Police Commissioner Tisch has called it disgraceful and criminal. Cops releasing pictures now of 4 people wanted for throwing those snowballs. Just a simple.
Now, I just showed you there's been protests all over, right? The Bronx had kids smashing stuff. Look at the snowballs. The snowballs. They want to arrest. And look at the pictures they got. The one with the darkest people in it, they need arrest. You think that that's not interesting? I just showed you a bunch of protests. They asked Trump, who's not in New York, how did he feel about them people protesting in front of the Trump Towers? His administration representative said, we don't care. They had all these kids messing around in the Bronx Mall. That's just one of them. They've had other organized ones. And they said, oh, they're just kids. Now you got kids throwing snowballs at the cops, right? And now they want them to do something. They want them to take legal action on these guys. Wow. Mamdani doesn't. Mayor Mamdani said it was just a snowball fight. Like, come on, guys. Nobody got hurt. Listen to this.
Disagreement, or is it something else between the mayor and the police commissioner? And moments ago, we learned that the two met this afternoon. So what's next? Here's NJ Burkett.
I've said again and again of what I think it was.
Mayor Mamdani gave the same answers to the same questions today, minimizing the melee in Washington Square Park that left 2 police officers injured and several others covered in snow and ice. No one was arrested, and the mayor clearly believes no one should be.
I've said that what I saw was a snowball fight. It should be treated accordingly. It was one that got out of hand, but that's what it was.
It happened on Monday. Dozens of mostly teenagers and college students hurling snowballs after hearing about it on social media. The officers were confronted after someone called 911.
started out as a very fun thing to do, and then it just escalated.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch ordered an investigation, and at least 4 people are wanted for questioning.
Really?
But it's put her at odds with
Stop
her
it.
boss in City Hall. Today, the mayor sidestepped those questions.
I've said again and again of my views on this snowball fight, and I'm appreciative of the work that my police commissioner does and the work that we are doing to keep New Yorkers safe across this city.
By downplaying the incident, former Chief of Detectives Robert Boyce said the mayor is risking his relationship with the NYPD.
I don't think he realizes what he's going to lose if he loses the police department, the morale of the police department.
Eyewitness News viewers wrote, "Don't pull up to a snowball fight if you don't want to get hit with snowballs. I have a feeling if someone threw a snowball at the mayor's head, they would be arrested and charged with assault."
I think the mayor has basically gotten this one right.
Brooklyn Councilmember Lincoln Ressler insists the mayor's critics are overreacting.
I think it was a snowball fight. Did everyone act perfectly? No. Did folks get carried away? Yes. But it was a snowball fight.
Do you don't think people should be charged?
No, I don't.
At his news conference, Mayor Mamdani referred to Jessica Tisch as my commissioner twice today. For a man who chooses his words carefully, it was clearly deliberate, and a message, perhaps, to police headquarters. At City Hall, NJ Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now, a representative, I do believe is, I forget the title, but a representative from a organization that I've talked to said that they had asked for that commissioner to not be rehired. Like, she was with the Eric Adams administration. They said that she had problems with that administration and they did not want her to be included with this administration. And as you can see, somebody is putting a battery in her back, and they're asking for the criminalization of. Now, they wasn't trying to criminalize nobody else, but now they're trying to put pictures up of you know who. Now, I think some of the advocates that are of color should be complaining. I'm not going to show no more videos because I draw the line right here. Now, this is something that I don't recall happening like it's happening now under this administration. All of this nonsense with snow and everything. It's just so ridiculous. I'm so tired of the snow. I'm so tired of this season. I'm tired of the season. Okay. The first 100 days for this mayor is just crazy. It's ridiculous. It's just more and more ridiculous. I don't know who's doing what and why they're doing it. Okay. But what I do know is that the people that voted in Mayor Mamdani wanted a change. They wanted the old guard to be removed. They said, I'm tired of old politics as it is. I want the new politics. And that's what we have. And he is not criminalizing anybody. He said it was a snow fight. It got out of hand, but nobody should be charged. And that's it, right? He's having a rift now with members in the community and his police commissioner. And he said nobody should be charged and it should be over. You understand what I'm saying? Now he's going to have to show people that he got what he's got. Okay? You know, he's all with the power trying to raise the rent with the mortgages for homeowners to almost 10% because he said he has to balance the budget of New York. They're not trying to tax the rich. He's having problems with Governor Hochul. Now he's having problems with his police commissioner. But I'm saying, who's having problems with what exactly? Because there's been a whole bunch of people protesting all over this city from people getting into it because of the Colombia president and his wife being over here, to all of that. Okay, we got a lot of stuff going on in New York, all over. But you got a bunch of young people throwing snowballs, and they want action taken. Stop it. No. And I'm just trying to figure out who is advocating for Black people kids. I really like to know, because I'm feeling some kind of way, because we got all these organizations, and I don't see them up and raw, because this is ridiculous. Ain't nobody else been talking about arrest. No. And now that our kids who's throwing snowballs, they doing snowballs. No. You want to do something, advocate for these kids. I'm tired of the blatant racism that nobody wants to talk about or call out. It's just blatant racism. We had people who invaded the U.S. Capitol building who were partying. Are we really making this an issue? Thank you, Red Wings. Thank you. What is going on? Snowballs? And it's not we. The mayor is not making it an issue. He got everybody mad. Listen, they mad with him anyway. Okay? But I'm saying, what in the hell is going on? What is this exactly? What is going on? I don't understand it. What are the kids doing? Who was working with the kids when Eric Adams was in office? Like, what the hell? Why the kids doing what they doing? Like, what's going on here? Who's taking care of these kids? What is going on? I don't understand. I'm confused, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the news. I'm getting tired of this city. This city right now, I'm not understanding it. Now, we are in a democracy, and people have a right to want something changed. That is what we listen. When you lose, you got to deal with whoever gets in position. It is what it is. Now, the people ran for mayor, and the party, the Democratic Party, we are a Democratic state. The party wanted Zoran. Zoran won the vote. So Cuomo and Adams split the party because those two, because they didn't get the vote, they ran independent. Okay? And the people still didn't vote for them. Adams had to drop out. Maybe Adams will run again. A snowball fight compared to invading the U.S. Capitol building and destroying the Capitol building, but got pardoned. They were white people. Adele said that. They were like middle-aged white people. And they weren't criminalized. They were saying, what? They was like, not me. I can't go to jail. Like, that's not America. I'm an American. I'm an American. What's going on? Snowballs? Come on now. The mayor, you voted for this man. He said it was just a snowball fight that got out of hand, guys. Like, nobody should get arrested. Like, what's going on here? Like, he's being who he is. Will you listen to him? Will you let him lead? They're having such a problem. But they voted his butt in there. They did. Now listen to me, and listen to me good. People said, I'm tired of the old guard. I'm tired of all these crooked thieves. They're not calling this mayor no thief. They're not calling him crooked. They said Cuomo and Adams were crooks. They said, we don't want nothing to do with them. and they said Saliva was a nut. Okay? They didn't want nothing to do with them. They wanted Zoran. So when he says, I'm not going to criminalize them, it was just snow. Y'all supposed to let it go. Y'all not being respectful to the one y'all decided to put in leadership. And I'm just tired of them. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these New Yorkers, these hippies. Now, y'all all said y'all didn't want the same thing going on here. So what's the problem? Y'all want adults to play with snowballs. Y'all want all of this. So what is the problem? With y'all didn't want the same thing. Y'all said, no, this is, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. Going crazy about the LGBT flags being raised alongside of the U.S. flag over by Stonewall. There was a big protest about being able to raise the flag. They said in that park, only the United States of America flag can be raised. And they went cray-cray and they let them raise that LGBT rainbow flag. You got all these people fighting over all kinds of things in New York. I mean, it's just all kind of stories going on here. You got all kind of things going on here in New York. It's like, if somebody fighting over something, they fighting over the flag in Stonewall, they fighting over property, the taxes on their houses being taxed too much. They fighting over the mayor not wanting to involuntary remove homeless people that are dying from the cold. I mean, it's a lot going on here. But they had 20 people? I think they exaggerate. First of all, can we believe fake news? The news is they sensationalize everything. But anyway, they said like 20 unhoused people died due to extreme cold temperatures. And they wanted the mayor to change his stance on not removing encampments and not involuntarily moving unhoused people. Because he's like, they can be asked if they want to go, but if they don't want to go, let them stay. He's like, I don't want to touch the encampment. Let the encampment stay. Like, come on, guys. Let them do what they do. And 20 people died. And the people's like, are you okay? We got to do something about them. They have mental illness. You got to take them. You got to snatch them up, take them to the hospital. And he was like, they said, do you really want this? Like, have you ever heard of this since when we had any other mayors? Did we have 20 people die in the cold? You know that we didn't, because under Giuliani, Bloomberg, all of them, they like, take them people out of here. Trust me. They wasn't giving you no choice. But no. Not with Zoran. Zoran's like, let's give everybody a choice. What's the problem? Good day, mate. People being killed by ice covered in face masks with assault rifles. Go free, though. Red Wings. Why? What did the mayor do? The mayor is being the mayor that they voted him in for. That's all I'm saying. They didn't want the same thing. They said the people that was running was crooks or nuts. They said that he was the best candidate. Okay? And they mad with him. And I just feel like you can't win with New Yorkers. But you better know how to show them that you're going to stand on your word. you better stand 10 toes. That's all I'm saying. I don't care. You better stand 10 toes. Just like when Eric Adams, I want him to run again. I want him to run again. After I'm done. I'm already done with Zoran. But anyway, he didn't even get to 100 days yet. We gotta get 100 days. But it's wild. It's ridiculous. Everybody crazy. And I'm just done with it all. But anyway, we had like 20 unhoused people die. So he had to bring in heated buses, open up the hospitals, open up all these places to try to get these homeless people choices. I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with him giving somebody that has already decided that they don't want to go to the shelter. Something has happened to them. People get attacked in the shelter. They get their stuff stolen in the shelter. They get mistreated by staff in the shelter. And they choose that they said the street is better than going to the shelter. That is what it is. So, okay, Mayor Zoran's administration decided to give people options. They said, okay, you can stay in the waiting area in the hospital where you can be in a heated environment from a certain time to a certain time, right? You can be in a heated bus from a certain time to a certain time, right? You can be in a non-traditional shelter where they have beds for them to lay down, right? They have options for these unhoused people due to the extreme cold temperatures, okay? They upset that he is doing what he said. 20 people froze to death. Listen, when he tried to explain it at the I can show y'all, but I don't want. It's such a headache. But when he had the conversation at the press conference, people was trying. They was trying to say that there was a certain amount that died from overdoses, but it doesn't matter. They all was deemed unhoused, so it doesn't matter how they died. The fact that they want to push the agenda of involuntary placement in the hospital. They said that they wanted him to call Cold Blue. Y'all familiar with Cold Blue? Homeless. 12. It's okay to use the correct words. It's not hate. I saw your show when you was talking about it, making fun. Let me tell you something. I've been in several trainings where they want us to talk in the most positive way about people that are demonized and have negative stigmas, and saying that they're unhoused is something that people feel doesn't have as bad as a stigma. Listen to me. I think some people hear the word unhoused and they pause, like, what they talking about? And that's what they want. They don't like the word homeless. Something's wrong. They feel that homeless is stigmatized and unhoused isn't. I don't know. I need to talk to somebody that's unhoused. Do I have anybody watching that's unhoused? What do you think? Do you like the term unhoused better than homeless? Oh, Rep said, I've been homeless, was homeless for 4 years as a teen. I knew many homeless, but mostly passed away. Oh my God, that's horrible. Rest in peace, and I'm so sorry to hear that. So then, what do you think about what he has brought to New York about them giving them options? You don't have to be in a facility under this mayor. You can go into a heated bus. You can go into the lobby of the hospital. Okay, they got a section for them where they can just sit and just sit there, okay, in the heat. I can show y'all that. Let me show y'all, because I think that it's beautiful. I can cry. I think it's beautiful because you have to accept the fact that some people have been traumatized in their overwhelming stress position in the first place. We have people that have told you that their main caregiver passed away And because they was unemployed, once that income, that primary person passed on, they could not maintain themselves. And that's a lot of stress on these people. They have a lot of trauma going on. And then you're going to put them in an environment where people are nasty, dehumanizing, and they say, I don't need to be here. They want to be in the street. And they do not want you to place them anywhere. They don't even want to talk or touch you. And they want to figure it out. They go in the garbage before they go to. I'm telling you, we have places, we have facilities where they have cafeterias where they give you food. The person doesn't have to dig in the garbage. Their experience with the cafeteria has been that bad that they would rather go and dig in the garbage themselves. Now you know something not right. They would rather beg or just go in the garbage can and get food than to be in the cafeteria in the shelter. Something not right with that. And one of the guys that I talked to that worked in this shelter over near 23rd Street. It's not 23rd, it's near 23rd Street. He said he worked in the shelter and that the guys would urinate in a cup and throw urine on them. He's a staff. I don't know what that staff was doing, because why would somebody just randomly, you telling me that they just randomly throw and piss on you? Not to urine. Like he said, they peed. This is what he claims. I never had, listen, I didn't listen. I'm telling you what he said. People have their own accounts. He said that the guys would urinate in a cup and throw piss on them. Ugh. Oh yeah, it sucks being homeless. It's wild, weird stuff. You sounded like a Valley girl from California. Oh my God, gag me with a spoon. Oh, stop it, Red Wings. When I got a job, I buy some of my older homeless friends food. I knew they buy drugs or going if I gave them cash. Did they want the food? When I got home, I bring some home. It didn't go. When I got a home, I bring some of them home. It didn't go well. They was wilding out. Listen, spoon. They ate the food. Yes. Okay, that's good. Let me show y'all this. I think that you got to take in consideration these people are, they're you can't approach them with a traditional manner. And if you wanna be more positive base, I don't see anything wrong with it. I feel like, so just so you can know the person you're working with, they're using a term that you know is about positivity. They can at least decide if they want to be bothered with them or not. You know, like you're saying something positive and they're like, okay, wait, where's this place at? Homeless, where's the homeless place? I mean, what's the name of it? Mom, what's the name of that hospital where I said they got a nice facility for the unhoused? Thank you. Um, what is the Let me just. I'm gonna show y'all the. I hate when I seen something and then it just don't come right up. They're gonna give us a tour. I saw one. I hate when they don't give us exactly. I think this is gonna be okay. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me let y'all see this.
One of those teams today for an exclusive look at how they try to convince people into shelter.
I mean, there are a few different agencies.
Snow or shine, Allie Coleman and her team of about a dozen others walk the streets of East Harlem, checking on the homeless.
Are you staying outside?
No, I'm in a shelter.
You're in a shelter?
Yeah.
They are some of the hundreds of outreach workers funded and deployed by City Hall to convince people out of the cold and into shelter.
There are just so many people that my team worries about on a daily basis. And right now, obviously, that's just even more increased.
Tuesday night, Mayor Mamdani joined some of their counterparts in Midtown. He's intensifying the city's outreach efforts after 10 New Yorkers were found dead outdoors since this weekend storm.
Of the 10 deaths that we have spoken about, that about 7 had hypothermia playing a role.
As he was canvassing, we were talking to New Yorkers in a Chelsea church where they would rather sleep on the floor than go to a city shelter.
It's a place where you can rest your head knowing that nothing will happen.
City Hall says crews have gotten more than 200 people into shelter since last week, which includes about 10 people through Coleman's team.
What's the most difficult part of this outreach work that you're doing? When there's someone we're looking for or we know is staying in an area on the street generally, and then you can't find them.
That's what happened Wednesday at East 117th Street, where a snowy corner sat empty.
I would love to know where this particular client is, but at the same time, in this person's case, he's pretty resourceful.
Still, the uncertainty lingers on this 20-degree day that will turn into a 5-degree night.
The hope is that the people who are not outside right now are somewhere warm.
You know, Allie, we have a string of first alert weather days because of the freezing temperatures. There's a possibility of more snow for the weekend. What are these teams doing then to prepare?
So Coleman says she's already adding up staffing and preparing them to work extra hours over the next few days. And, you know, even on days when people refuse help, she says having that presence on the street and being out there every day around the year builds that trust for weeks like this when being outdoors can be life or death.
And that's really the key, is building that trust with those people. Allie, thank you for that update.
Oh, I almost lost where I was. I'm sorry. So at that time, see, it was 10 people. That's not the current one, and that's not the one I wanted to show you. But I wanted to show you that they have outreach workers. There's so many of them. They have several different organizations that are doing outreach, trying to bring the people in due to the cold. But we're finally starting to have break in temperatures. I have a cousin that lives in a tent on the side of the highway behind a bush. He prefers it to government housing. He's 55. I don't think he'll ever change. Wow. Did he give you a reason to why? Or did he, did he give you a reason? That's why I advocate for tiny homes. And I like the anyway, it's my mind is getting my mind has so much going on in there right now because I want y'all to see the video I saw. I don't understand why that video popped up and now I can't find it. Like, that drives me crazy. I have to be calling it the wrong things. Let me see. I hate when I find it difficult to research something. I have to find it for y'all because I'm telling you, I think the homeless people are enjoying it. I think this is it. Okay. I think this is the video I want to show y'all. Oh my God, what happened to it? Oh my God, what just happened to it? Oh, there it is.
Become a refuge for. Well, as we continue to deal with this brutal winter, one Manhattan hospital has quietly become a refuge for New Yorkers in need of shelter.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here.
On the east side is one of the city's official warming shelters. The hospital is not turning anyone away and is feeding and housing people with nowhere else to go. Hospital executives gave Eyewitness News reporter Tanya Rivera a tour, and she's live on the east side with more. Tanya.
Well, Liz and David, we all know the city faces a housing crisis. There's a large unhoused population, and we all know we just saw a historic storm. So you put all of those elements together, and you have a recipe for a very difficult situation. But we got a tour of the warming center here at Bellevue Hospital earlier today, and I got to tell you, it made me seem like this hospital may have hit on a model for humane treatment during a crisis. You've been able to ride out the storm here?
No, listen. I've been studying and I'm happy. Yeah, I like it here.
49-year-old Victor Arcilla says he's been homeless for 5 months, but staying here for 2 weeks. He likes Bellevue better than city shelters.
If you're in a shelter in a room with 16 people, there's no place to go. They beat you.
We toured Bellevue's warming center. These 22 cots are available from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. with fresh sheets. The waiting room is available 24 hours a day, as are the hospital's religious spaces, all manned by a chaplain, plus regular meals.
At 6 a.m., there's muffins, sandwiches, water, milk, and beverages are available. At 7 p.m., there's sandwiches, milk, and beverages, as well as hot soup.
Bellevue is one of the oldest hospitals in the country, and those who work here are proud of its public-minded ethos.
We do not turn anyone away. Bellevue Hospital is here for everyone, and we're here to serve the city. In this particular challenge, it was making sure that we kept New Yorkers safe, while ensuring their dignity and connecting them to care.
Another benefit to the guests is regular cleaning and hospital security.
The securities are always checking on us.
And we saw it in action. Trained hospital police de-escalate disturbances and take agitated guests a short walk to the psych ward for evaluation, leaving others, like Victor, in peace to work on getting his paperwork in order to apply for a job.
I tell you, 65% of the people here they don't have an ID.
Bellevue officials tell us they're proud of the hospital's ability to keep New Yorkers safe while ensuring their dignity and connecting them to clinical and social services.
As you can imagine, the warming center's 20-odd cots are filled every night. They're given out at a first-come, first-served basis. People start lining up around 5:30 p.m. as they open at 7 p.m. But the city has set out warming buses. There's a big warming bus right over here outside Bellevue and other hospitals that have warming centers for overflow. But I must say, many of the unhoused people I spoke to who are staying at the warming center here in Bellevue say they feel like they have found a pretty good spot to wait out the rest of this bitter winter. Live from
So I think that's good. So you have to put in warming center to get it. That's how I was having a hard time getting it. They call them warming centers. And this mayor, thank you so much for being with me for an hour, guys. You're so awesome. It's over an hour now. Thank you so much. That is great. I don't know how people that are unhoused feel about it. But for people that have been unhoused that are in the chat, what do you think about that? Do you think that's good? You know, they're letting them sit in the lobby of the hospital. They got coffee and stuff for them, and they're leaving them alone, and they're letting them have their little space like they would in the train station. Instead of having them in the train station, they have them there in a facility where there are people that could possibly take care of them. Because a lot of the unhoused people that I've seen, they have medical issues. You know, they have needs that you know, they don't have the insurance or the mental. They're not mentally interested anymore in addressing their infections. They don't care. They're just really managing. And if someone can possibly convince them to get the medical care that they need whilst they're doing this, I think that's great. You know, I think it's a plus. I think it's great. And I have seen less unhoused people out since they've offered these things. Now I want to show you this video. This is Red Wing said 12 Ma. I said hello. Red Wing said hi, Mom. Red Wing said hi. She said hi. Here's another.
From hustling, bustling Bellevue, I-90 over my shoulder. We're in the Victoria Eastgate neighborhood of Bellevue today, and probably not the first place that comes to mind when you think of people facing homelessness. But there's a lot more than meets the eye here in one of the more diverse zip codes, and some good news thanks to the passion of a local nonprofit celebrating 30 years, a new men's shelter now open in its permanent location.
The need is there all the time, even on the east side, even in Bellevue. We have been in a temporary location to some extent for the past 30 years, and finally we have a permanent location for our 100-bed men's shelter, along with all of our day services and our administration. Congregations for the Homeless is the provider of men's shelter for people experiencing homelessness on the entire east side of King County. The goal is to be a conduit out of homelessness so that everyone who comes here moves on as quickly as possible to a more stable living situation.
This facility certainly makes a first impression.
This mural in particular focuses on the fact that the men often are not visible, and they often don't want to be seen that way. For all of the reasons associated with the stigma around homelessness. But also, we think the mural also represents a picture of hope, and to see that, yes, there is a way out.
Something like this has been needed on the east side for a long time. It's a need that sometimes goes unknown because homelessness isn't as quite in your face as it is in other areas. But the east side has always had a homeless issue, and now we finally have the right building to address it. A building like this allows people to come out from the parks, from camping in green belts, to get the help and services they need that are dignified, that bring respect, that are also part of the process of restoring people for a better life that they want for themselves.
So that kind of thing makes me concerned when you say things like better life than they want for themselves. that concerns me because it's not going to work if they don't want to do it, right? So I like the terms reimagine. I like the words dignity, right? So I have met a counselor that he's like a dignity counselor, something like that. I forget his actual term, but what he does is he makes sure that the unhoused man, I don't know if he works with women, but he makes sure that the unhoused man has an address so he could be able to get mail. I don't know how it works, but I know that they establish an address for them. You have to report to him. He'll give you your mail. They have a shower facility. They have laundry services, and you have a soup kitchen and a food pantry that they help the young men or men with. I don't know how. I've never seen them do a presentation to the public. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I know that they use the word dignity. I love it. As you see, when they interviewed one of the men in the warming station that was in the lobby of the hospital, he said that 65% of the people here don't have IDs. That's horrible. But again, it's hard to establish getting an ID for a person without a permanent residence. So there's a lot of barriers to getting a person back on their feet once they get to that point. So it's awesome that we have someone in the chat that said that they was homeless for several years and they was able to get back inside. That's not as common as people would like. And then we have recidivism in that. Recidivism meaning that they return back, right? So you can get a person to get inside of a stable housing, but then they, for whatever reason, will regress or whatever and go way back. They'll find themselves back in the street. And I think that it gets harder when they are outside longer and it's just something that they have become accomplished and they're very comfortable with. So it's very hard to get them in the home if they wasn't fighting to get back in. Like, I think people have to really look into that, right? Like, if the person that is living outside is not interested, they're not saying, I gotta get in, I gotta get in the home, I need to stay in a hotel or something, I need a shower, I need this. If they're comfortable outside and they have, figured out how to function and manage there, you're kind of going against what they're interested in by trying to put them in a house. So it's just it's really, you have to be open to something non-traditional, really. And I feel that Mayor Zoran is open to non-traditional things, and the people that are into status quo and things that are with the old guard, they are going crazy. And that's what people that voted for him want them to do. They want the people that are into common or traditional methods to go crazy. And they are, I promise you, you have New Yorkers going crazy. And they're going crazy because things are not going the way that they just wanted to go. And they're not open to reimagining. You see how it's reimagining, seeing what can we do for the person that, what does that person want? And because I never forget, I met this guy, he was from Guatemala, and he said that we're determining that people are having a problem. He said, what is the person that you are talking about, Phil? Because the person that you have decided needs help may not think they need help at all. And you can be mad about it because it's making you uncomfortable. But the reality is, if they don't see themselves as having a problem, what are you really gonna do? What is going on here? You're leading the horse to water, and the horse is like, okay, no. I think a better example is perfect for me. Okay, so let's go for me. You've brought me a bottle of Dasani water when I only drink Poland Spring, right? And I don't care. I could be thirsty. I don't want Dasani. And then, okay, you say, okay, what's the problem with the water? Okay, I'll give you something else. And then you give me Evian or whatever. I hate Evian. I want Poland Spring. I know maybe I can't express that I want Poland Spring because maybe I don't know that that's the type of water I like, but I know what kind of water I don't like, right? So these people, we're talking about people with preferences, right? So they have a preference, and their preference is not to be indoors. They don't want to be indoors at all. And that makes people uncomfortable. What are we going to do? We got to figure it out. We've worked with people who are afraid to go to a shelter because they're escaping addiction. They lived in the woods alone. When you say we've worked, what do you mean? What did you do? I didn't work with homeless, really. I worked with mentally ill, right? Dual diagnoses on several medications. They had their ID and so forth. They had benefits, and I was a part of their wraparound services. Sometimes they may find themselves in the shelter, but they're going to the shelter. They're not homeless, right? So they would get themselves into a situation where they either trying to leave their boyfriend or they trying to do something, and they want to go to the shelter, right? And they're going to family shelter. I didn't work with people in individual shelters. So, and I didn't work with people, what would they call it, right? So we have a term for that, MICA. I never got the MICA training. I didn't work with people with substance abuse issues. I did take a HIV/AIDS training. I did take that, and one of the things I hated about it was that my instructor came in and said, "Take your cape off." He was so rude. He said, "Take that cape off because you're not no hero." And I was like, what's going on here? Like right away he offended me. And I knew right then I didn't want to work with that population because that teacher was turning me off. But I took that class because my job paid for me to take the class. My job paid for me to take the class. And I took that class. I got my certificate. But I'm saying I never took MICA because they ain't giving you no certificate for MICA. Is that Jack Spade? Let Mayor Zoran Mandami know I got him for the pork chop meat this coming Saturday at Sylvia's restaurant. He coming talking crazy. Let me tell you something. Zoran is doing his whatever that holiday is, Ramadan. Oh, you know he's a Muslim. He came in swearing in on the Quran. Huh. He's challenging anybody who is with a status quo. He's doing things so out of the norm that is making everybody turn, is making everybody saying, what he doing now? Like they can't with him. My wife and I do things for people on a more individual level, so we know them personally. Take what cape off? I hope it wasn't a medical cape. He's talking about your imaginary cape of being some kind of hero. That was my HIV/AIDS training. I took that in Long Island City, Queens. We had to take in the Department of Health. For the people that's in New York, I had to go to a training at the Department of Health that was located in Long Island City, Queens. It's this beautiful, huge building. And I went there, with my agency's authority, and I sat down, and the instructor came in, and he said, first thing first, take your cape off. Take that cape off right now. He said, because you don't got nobody to save. I'll never forget that, because that was wild to me. Yeah, that was because I guess, sometimes we feel like we saving people. I don't know. Yeah, brother Jack Spades, he said, keep it warm, 12. I gotta go. Red Wings, Happy New Year. Keep it real. Happy New Year, Jack. Thank you for stopping by. He was getting mad with me. Jack was getting mad with me because I was going up to Albany to advocate for letting people that have been incarcerated for over 20 years to be able to how does it go? They want to be able, I wish I had the paperwork on me. They want to be able to go before the parole hearing. They want to have a parole hearing. They said at the moment they don't even let them have an opportunity to ask for parole. They said they won't even let them, and that people are dying in prison without even an opportunity to be heard, to show that they have been improving themselves while incarcerated. Give an example of how good they're doing and how they can be released back into, society. And one of the advocates' husband passed away there Friday the 13th. Friday, February 13th. And they said at the training I went to, where they explained it to us on Saturday, that they refused to release the body to his wife. The wife was his advocate. They refused to release his body because they said it's federal property or something. That doesn't make no sense to me. And I don't hear she's not saying nothing. She's not saying this because they need to give her husband's body so she can give him a proper burial. I thought Red Wings was I thought Jack Spade was leaving. He said, I'm not upset with you. I just haven't been on YouTube for a while. Okay, but you were saying that's the wrong way to go. I don't want you to go up there. Red Wings said he swears on Quran, know the Constitution, and we have the right to worship any religion we choose. Brother Jack, I've been away for a minute as well. Yes. I'm happy that Jack wasn't upset with me, because I've had a lot of people that has come to me telling me that you need to advocate for people who are not in jail. Advocate for the young people not to go to jail to begin with, and stop this right now. I said, what? That's one of the things. One of the program that I've been volunteering with, named Vocal New York, one of their standing points for criminal justice reform is for people who get released to have more than $40. Whether they only release them with $40, and they don't make sure they have transportation or anything. They release them when they get released. They said that they don't make sure they have transportation. They don't have a sizable amount of money. And it's just, they're advocating for them to have a living wage stipend. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. We're talking about people that served their time and they got released. That's one of the things. This one that I'm talking about now, about the parole, is with another organization named because we went up in Albany with a whole bunch of different criminal justice reform advocates. They're different organizations, and they have different bills that they're trying to put before the assembly for them to vote on. And the organization that I was with when I went up to Albany was RAP. And so Vocal New York was in collab with them, but it wasn't theirs. The one that they had, they were meeting in a location that I'm not familiar with, and I didn't go. Like the RAP one was with another organization. They was with something else. Let's see if I can. They was with another organization. I don't see nothing wrong with criminal reform. Criminal justice reform is needed. We're talking about, we got places where that's all with the prison, the pipeline, right? All of that is going with the criminal justice. And people were saying to me, don't worry about them people that's incarcerated. I said, don't worry about them when you know that people are getting wrongfully incarcerated. People are getting in jail that didn't even do the crime. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just so frustrating. Like, they would say, you need to help the kids. Well, you need to help the kids. You need to make sure the kids don't even go there. You need to make sure the kids are okay. And I was like, okay, so where you want me to go? What organization would you recommend? And they don't got it. You got kids all over here. Pick anybody. I'm like, y'all for real? I'm talking about organization that's already a nonprofit. It's already having meetings and stuff. Like, you are not making sense to me. People say all kind of stuff. Like, they just say stuff just to say it. Like, pick a kid. What do you mean pick a kid? Like, what are you talking about? People are just crazy. That, to me, I think it's crazy. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the organization of this program. Listen, Vocal invited me. I knew Vocal. I didn't know there's other groups I met. I met a whole bunch of new criminal justice reform organizations. Because they had them from Rochester. They had them from all over. They had them from all over New York State. So there was a lot of places I've never heard of. And because I knew of RAP, but I had never been to a meeting. I just recently, let me tell you something. I went to 2 different organizations meetings. Okay. And they were all very, very, very different, Okay, I'm trying to find the name of this. I know I can find the name. And I don't, let me see. There was a lot of people I met. I met a lot of people. And they're not, they're not in New York City. Okay, so I met an organization from Releasing Aging People in Prison. That is RAP, Releasing Aging People in Prison, RAPP. Do they have something on that? That's a different organization. I'm not familiar with that one. I went to a meeting. Very interesting. I met some people that I had never, releasing. Okay, now we getting to the point where I hope they got something that's major, because, you can't put, where is it? Releasing Aging People in Prison. Okay, so I met Jose. They want to see Jose? Okay, and I meant this. Let's see something. Let's see. What's this gonna do? I see some people I'm familiar with. Am I familiar with this guy too? Let me see. I've been meeting a lot of people, and I've been getting a lot of backlash and people taking me to the side, telling me, "Nah, this not the way to go. This not the way to go." And I thought Jack Spade was telling me that. To hear that he's saying, "No, that's not what I'm saying. That's good." But I have been having people saying that, and then they want to talk about the young people. And I haven't. It's just interesting, you know. It's just interesting. I want to show you. Let's see. Okay, is this him? Okay, This is a person I met. Let's see what they're saying together. Have a reaction video. I think Jose is awesome. I don't know. I don't know what people want. People want what they want. You can't worry about them.
So let me go to Jose Saldana.
Maybe I could get to
who
have Jose come talk to me.
promised to give
My
us
platform.
a perspective on the
For educational
origins
purposes.
of mass incarcerations in the U.S., as well as how this has impacted on Black people, and in the context also of the rise in the present moment, or rather the weaponization of white supremacy as a basis of continuing to marginalize others. It will be useful to hear from you how your work can feed into this conversation that we want to build in order for us to understand structural drivers, origins, and probably come to a solution. So I will now invite Jose, so that you can take the floor. Thank you. 10 minutes.
Greetings, everyone.
I met
good
him.
Afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is,
His
where you at.
meetings
My name is Jose
last week.
Hamza Saldana. I am formerly incarcerated. Nearly 3 years ago, I was released from prison after close to 4 decades of incarceration.
4 decades.
So a lot of what I speak about from my personal experience that has defined my consciousness and my perspective on this very, very important discussion. And because it feels so honored to come from a prison cell where I was serving a life sentence to being a part of this urgent discussion. It is a great honor, and I feel very, very fortunate. We trace the origins of mass incarceration in the United States to a specific incidents that actually happened around the world. During the 1950s and 1960s, the so-called third world countries around the world were fighting for national liberation from colonial oppression, neo-colonial oppression. This political and social consciousness spread in communities of colors across the United States. Grassroots movements evolved, calling for community control, racial justice, and social justice, and an end to the terror of police murder and brutality.
As you can see, he's very deep. I can't listen. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble because it's from Survivors of the System. You have to look that up. Let me tell you something. I don't want to get in no trouble because I'm not showing something I got permission for. But let's show another one because I've been meeting these people and I think they're very awesome. They're very intelligent. They are speaking from experience, and they are advocating on behalf of those who still remain inside. And what is wrong with that? They open the platform to those who are family members and people that are in they're concerned and advocates in the community. So they're allies, right? So you're not you don't have to be directly impacted to be an ally. to understand the issue and want to help. But I've been getting negative feedback, people saying, they don't want to go, and da 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 da. And I believe that we should be concerned about criminal justice reform, and that it's a broken system. And if we know about these, broken ceilings and all these things, the, why not, or at least inform yourself. So let's see this one. Let's see a little bit of this one. Again, this is for educational purposes. Don't give me a headache. I have met Laura Whitehorn as well. And I want you to meet her too. Meet everybody. They're available to the public. They're not hiding.
The fact that that so many people of color are locked up, and people think about that a lot of times as sort of an aspect of racism. That's true, but there's an impact of it on the ability of communities to continue to struggle. So I think you see the rise of, I've heard people talk about the rise of mass incarceration starting in the 70s, right? Well, what else happened in the 70s? There was the destruction of the Black Power movement, the Puerto Rican independence movement inside the United States, the Native American movement, and the white anti-imperialist movement, less so the latter, but mostly the Black movement and the Puerto Rican movement, by COINTELPRO and by the FBI and by the law enforcement agencies, not just the FBI, but the militarization of police. You can see that all starting at the same time. And so when you see the mass incarceration of especially Black youth, who are those people? Those are the people who 10 or 15 years before were the people who made up the Black Panther Party, the Revolutionary Action Movement, the Detroit League of Revolutionary Black Workers, and other, and the African Liberation Day movement. So all of those resistant forms were populated and created by Black people. So if you take the masses of Black people and you not only incarcerate many of them for all these advanced crimes that weren't crimes before and with long sentences that weren't long sentences before, then you can disempower the community in that way. In addition, you disempower their families, because now, in addition to having to struggle to make a living, their mothers, their sisters, their fathers, their kids have to struggle to keep those people in commissary, to schlep miles and miles and miles to see them, and to hold on to their homes. So in New York.
So again, I think that's excellent. Now listen, both, rap and the vocal New York, they tend to be extremely radical. And I think that's another reason why some of the people that I have invited out to come with me to these events, they become guarded, because the fact that they're even talking about, the Black Panther movement and any other thing, right? So I recently went to a Black History Month event that they hosted in Brooklyn, and they focused on different states, not including New York. And it was very interesting. And I would say they're not traditional, right? So, a lot of people, they say they got a problem with ineffectiveness, right? They say, oh, and nothing's going to change. Oh, these politicians aren't the ones who make a difference. And then you have organizations like RAP, where it's the people, right? They say that the people are the ones with the answers. They are about empowering the people. And then you have people that be like, no. So you can't make some people happy. You understand? I like the motto, nothing about us without us. All of these people are formerly incarcerated. Everybody has been in prison. You have conversations about commissary, docks, all of these things that you won't have a conversation about with people that don't know the system. You know what I'm saying? Like if they haven't been impacted, they don't have any real knowledge of it, they're not going to have a real conversation. So what is the problem? You know, I don't really have a problem with it, but people do. Are these people about something? I don't know, because we both, you know, people who are doing things in the community know that there's people placed in the community that's there to sabotage everything you do. So when you start seeing people moving funny, you know, when you know for a fact that it's nothing wrong with this group of people are doing, they're just giving information. Like one of the men that I had met that was formerly incarcerated, he has said that they destroyed their paperwork. Listen, I don't know if it's, I'm telling you what he said. I don't know if it's true. A formerly incarcerated man that talked to me said that they destroy your documentation in jail and they release you without any of your documents. He said, you don't have your birth certificate. You don't have nothing. He said, you don't have an ID. You don't have anything. That sounds crazy. And he said that they release you not to your home state, but to wherever you committed the crime. So he said you could have gotten arrested in a different place than you live. And he said that you go back there. It's just so much stuff that I don't understand. Because one guy said to me that you get released and you just got to find your own way from the correctional facility. And then this other guy said, no, they send you back to the place you was arrested in. Like wherever, it's like a setup. They have some kind of setup with your parole officer. There's a lot of things I don't understand that they tell you is messed up, right? And because you will be on parole. So it's just a lot of things that it's complicated, right? It's made things more complicated. There's things that are barriers, because I knew this guy. I met him in the church, and I met him in church, and so he had asked me to lunch or something, and we went out to lunch. We was talking and everything, and then he was like, "Oh my God!" And he was like, "I'm having such a good time with you," and he said, "The time is moving so fast. I have to hurry up and get out of here." He said, "Because I have to be home at a certain time, or I'll get in trouble with my parole officer." That's the only reason I found out he had a parole officer. Yeah, he was talking, and you know, he was very nice, but that was a red flag for me. I'm sorry. When he told me he had a parole officer, I did not want to eat with him no more, and he was having a problem with that. I had to I had a little problem with him. I did. I had to, you know, I was like, I was like, uh-oh. I didn't ask him no more questions. I just didn't want to hang out with him no more. 12, our leaders are paid off to act like they care for us, but get paid millions to pretend to care. Even a lot of pastors are paid off so they have millions of dollars, but that people are poor. Lovely 12. Hey, Lefty. I just wanted to just let people know what was going on in New York. And then we've spiraled off into this conversation that it's just one of the things I'm having some issues with because I'm having a lot of backlash, right? But I love with Red Wings. I love you guys for keeping it real with me, because there's a lot of people that's not keeping it real with nobody. They're not even keeping it real with themselves. Like, we got to be honest. They're not keeping it real with themselves. They are not. They're not even telling the truth. Like, I was at an event where, like, okay, another thing that they got mad with Mayor, our current Mayor Zoran, is he opened up an opportunity for emergency snow laborers. And in order to be an emergency snow laborer, you had to go to one of the sanitation sites for the Department of Sanitation in New York, DSNY, and you had to have a state ID, federal state ID, your social security card, and another photo ID. And they really wanted you to have 2 passport photos. And the people was upset about that. The people thought that was outrageous, but was it fake rage? Because a lot of people that work was saying, but that's always the case. That's not new. That's always been their thing, blah, 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 right? Anyway, we had a lot of organizations doing an emergency snow laborer outreach, and they wanted you to have your state ID, which you get from the DMV. And people were saying that a lot of people didn't have that. All right. Then they said they wanted you to have your New York City ID, your city ID. The person that started that program was de Blasio. And a lot of people, that's a free ID. A lot of people didn't have that ID. You got that originally you could get that from the library. Now you got to go to the Department of Health or something. I don't even know where you go. I know I got mine. I got mine in the library. I went to the library to get that years ago. Anyway, then they want you to have your social security number. Who don't have their social security card? People that don't work. Let me tell you something. I was a part of an event. What was the name of that event? Maybe a hiring event. Okay, I was a part of a hiring event. And do you know people came there and they did not have their ID? People came there, men attended the event, and they did not have their ID. Okay, they did not have their forms they did not have a copy of their birth certificate. They did not have their social security card. And they did not have a state ID. And nobody talked about that. They just took pictures. They just took pictures like they had a successful event. That event had that event. I was a part of that event. So I'm at the table processing people. That's why I know they didn't have their stuff. I know they didn't have it because I was helping to fill out the paperwork for them, right? And they did not have it. So they had taken photos like there was a successful event. But half of them people that was there didn't do nothing. They didn't do anything because they didn't have their paperwork. It's just for show. And it's for show because I have not seen it or heard of an event where they help people get their damn IDs. Why can't they have an event where they get these people and they have a slate for them at the DMV and get their damn IDs? I'm serious. Like we gotta do better. Like these people, they don't know, they never seen their social security card. I don't know who got it. I don't know if they had foster care. I don't know what's going on. I don't know their issue. I just know they didn't have their paperwork. And they're not working. You listen to me. They're not working. They don't have job. They don't have work experience. So and therefore they don't have their ID. Why would you think they have their ID? The first thing you ask them is, "Can I see your resume?" "Oh, I don't have no resume." "What is the last job that you worked?" "Oh, I never had no job." So they don't got no ID. Or they was coming out to this event. Ha! Come on now. From 14, they need to have their ID. Take them to the DMV. 14. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Summer youth application is going to be over Friday. What's the day? Let me read this thing. And I'm getting irritated again. The deadline to apply for Summer Youth Employment 2026 is this Friday. If you haven't already, be sure to submit your application for Summer Youth 2026 online with the link https://application.nycsyep.com/ Remember to select United Activities Unlimited as your provider to join our network to participants. Deadline to apply is Friday, February 27th, 2026. This is an official message from the United Activities Unlimited. I don't think that's for everybody, but it's Summer Youth is for ages 14 to 25. No, 14 to 24. And they have a program for college for 25 to 55. These are things people need to check out. You thinking as an independent and they scared. Who the hell carry 2 photos ID? No, that's what they was asking for Hi, official 1SP. He said, "Good morning, Lefty. Good morning." What time is it? But 12, do we need an ID to pay taxes? These people can find DNA to prosecute crime. No ID needed, but can't fix the voting polls. Well, 1SP said, "Leave me alone, Red Wings hockey." Who bothering him? He coming in here being messy. Good morning, Jack. Jack not in here. Good morning, 1SP, says Lefty. Okay, well, wait a minute. Y'all making me think about something. So let me put this in here. HTTPS application nycsyep.com and slash. Okay. So this is how it looks. Okay. You got to have your ID for this. Applications are now open for New York City 2026 Summer Youth Employment Program. Elevate your summer with Summer Youth. Summer Youth Employment Program is nation's largest youth employment program connecting New York City youth between the ages of 14 and 24 with career exportation opportunities and paid work experience each summer. By participating in structured project and work-based opportunities, New York City youth are better prepared for careers of the future. And they have who is eligible for SYEP, which just stands for Summer Youth Employment. They tell you what the opportunities offer: project-based learning for 14 to 15, work experience 16 to 24, career exportation, financial literacy, uplifting. Can we see this? Okay, wait. Let's go there. What's blocked? Why you said blocked? Y'all see it? Why you said blocked? Y'all see it? Oh, that's nothing but 1SP. I can't pay attention to 1SP. 1SP be telling me stories. Look, this is for educational purposes. Y'all talk about yourself. Y'all making me laugh. Y'all stop it. Okay, wait. Let me put this on. I'm gonna be with you for 9 more minutes. I'm not keep you here forever. Y'all doing great. Thank you.
Career path. You might find a mentor.
I love this so much that every summer up until the age 17, I kept applying.
Really gave me the confidence in a workplace setting to be out and proud.
My parents were very proud of Jimmy. For me, that was very moving. I was very proud of that.
SYEP stands for Summer Youth Employment Program. The Summer Youth Employment Program is the largest employment program for young people in the country.
That's 100,000 young people who are earning money for their families. It's 100,000 young people who are gaining their first workplace experience. And that really helps determine what their next couple of years look like.
And for all of those young people, we try to give them the same exact experience, which is meaningful summer employment, building the soft skills that they need to interview and get a job, to retain employment, financial literacy, college education and access.
What inspired me to hire SYEP participants was the fact that I myself started as a summer youth participant at the age of 14. It was my first job, and I don't think I could be here without having that experience. And so I think that these programs really allow for kids to learn early on how important it is to work hard, to have responsibilities, to give back not only to your community, but to your families.
So during that summer, I got to really learn how to be a community advocate, and I learned how it's really important to speak up for myself and speak up for others.
The summer of 2004 really helped me think more about civics, helped me think more about community, helped me think more about responsibility, helped me think more about how to be a better community member, how to be a better neighbor. That was something that completely ignited me to say, wow, man, this is a space where I can actually speak about something that is important to me, important to where I'm from.
Being able to be myself in SYEP employment programs gave me the confidence to be more representative of my identity in professional experiences. And I think I've really taken that to the next level by showcasing my identity and my representation to help other students be more comfortable in being themselves at a collegiate level, where I'm the first openly out student government president for Hunter College.
Both of my parents are deaf. So growing up, I saw the barriers that my parents faced. I knew my passion was the disability community and law enforcement, and how can I bring those two together and bridge that gap, giving that kind of opportunity to say, you can work at any agencies. It's important that we open up that pathway, and that is what Summer Youth Employment is about, right? We can create that opportunity for that person with the disability and fulfill the gap that's there.
The Summer Youth Employment Program taught me a lot. I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of mentors. I learned a lot of the behind the scenes of how the New York City Police Department really runs. Those people really helped me shape my career path. And ultimately, I get to now oversee the entire Summer Youth Employment Program for the New York City Police Department.
I have my deposits from when I participated in SYEP. I remember cashing that check and maybe taking a little bit out, going to the movies. I used to buy baseball cards or comic books. And it got me thinking about savings and actually earning money and what it meant to earn an hourly wage. That money meant so much to me.
So one day we cashed that check on 125th Street in Harlem.
And then my mom had the twins, my siblings at the time, and I had my other sister. I went to a store on 125th Street and I was able to buy the twins an outfit and then my sister an outfit. And it made me feel good to know that I was helping my mom out with my siblings.
Commissioner, DYCD.
Director of Community Relations at MasterCard.
SYP Program Director.
Police officer.
Student Government President.
Executive Director of the Public Housing Community Fund.
Director of Workforce Development at United Activities Unlimited.
Executive Director within the Community Affairs Bureau at NYPD.
Director of Employer Engagement at the New York City Mayor's Office of Talent and Workforce Development.
Chief Executive Officer at Common Point Queens.
Senior Specialist for IT and Cybersecurity.
Director with DYCD.
That was long, but it was interesting. I liked it. I was a part of the Summer Youth Employment Program, and I had that book and that ID. That's what, back in the day. And I worked at the New York Youth Hostel, and that's how I got introduced to tourism and the entertainment sector where I worked on. I went from there to working at a television show called The Carney Wilson Show. And I was working as a youth. I was working as a teenager, going to high school and working after high school, just a couple hours. And to hear, so when you're 14, you get working papers. It's like a green little paper. They don't never ask for it. That's what they give you. And when my son was that age, I applied for him the same way. And he got his working papers. And he worked at a department of, he worked at the Parks Department at a community center. And then, so another thing, we got 2 more minutes. Summer Youth Employment, it has so many people. It's a lottery program. So just because you apply doesn't mean you get in. That is another thing that's messed up. But I was picked. And my son, he usually gets picked. But that is a lottery program. It's a lottery process. But they try to really take everybody. But it's not a guarantee. It's lottery. So I think that's important to know. But you know, so many programs, they hiring youth around the summer. You have Coney Island. You just have to get the kids out there. You have to help them. You have to guide them to get the work experience, especially during seasonal times, during the summer, during the holiday season. They got these opportunities for them to work. So they wouldn't be having these conversations where they're like, oh, I never had a job. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging with me. I might do a sleep screen. Yeah, because I'll be like getting 300 views. That's funny to me. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging with me. Y'all did make me feel better. If you need an ID to vote, I need an ID to work and pay taxes as well. Yeah. I mean, you have to, I don't know anything about not having ID. You have to have an ID to get a passport. I mean, it's just showing you the limitations of what people are actually doing. You need an ID to get on a plane, to travel out of state or whatever. So it's just weird conversations of people creating barriers that instead of trying to come up with how can we address what is the barrier. So the barrier is you don't have the ID. How are we going to address fixing that? And that's how I want to leave it. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Later.